Thank you for taking some time for yourself. And before you begin this relaxing experience, I wonder if you can close your eyes. And I really don't know if clients will go all in with a deep breath in and a relaxing breath out. But what I do know is you can give it your all or nothing at all. Your chest rising or falling, your breath in or out, deeper into this experience. And there's no need to start all over if you think you've screwed up this relaxing experience. You're perfect just as you are, and your chest can rise and fall, expand, contract, and your breath can move in or out, and it can be warmer on the exhale. Shoulders relax, and I'm curious if you can give in to gravity now. Heaviness, inactivity, and you can melt into the space. And what people love about hypnosis is their thoughts are clearer, more detached, and you've managed to slow down your heart rate, breathing without me asking that of you. That's how special you are. And you are so much more than that. You are 206 bones. You are about 52 kilos of oxygen, more than half your body mass, 14.4 kilos of carbon, 8 kilos of hydrogen. You are also a bunch of precious metals. That's how special you are. And in the past, you've been feeling depressed, down and out, or something else. And right now, there are 280 million people worldwide with depression. And depression is different for everyone. For some, they run depression really well by overthinking the past, or emotionally ruminate round and round, or something else. But the good news is there's a process for things to be different. And in a moment, I'm going to share with you a few stories. And at first you might think, why am I sharing with you these stories? but your subconscious mind will be listening and do something wonderful for you a little later on. Once upon a time, we were all so impressed with ourselves that we could blow bubbles or raspberries, say the word ta, thank you, understand pictures in a bedtime story, learn to recite stories over and over again. We just loved learning how to make sounds, talk, write, read, learn the alphabet. And once upon a time, long, long ago, was the tale of Pi, the ironic tale of one deep thinker after another, trying to work out if the number pi was immeasurable, and Archimedes who found the approximation of pi by creating a large-looking polygon like the shape of a stop sign, and around it was a wheel circle. So if you were to imagine a car wheel, and some cashed up lad has done up the inside of his tires with the shape of a polygon. And Archimedes believed that pi was slightly less than 22/7, and it was. Chinese mathematician Zhu Chongzi, who topped Archimedes by calculating that pi was 355/113, and some historians believed he made this calculation by using a polygon with 25,576 sides. But mathematicians wanted to know the exact number. Before the 1600s, mathematicians could calculate pi to approximately 35 digits. And with 39 digits you can calculate the circumference of the observable universe. And it was William Shanks, an amateur British mathematician, who could calculate the first 707 digits of pi in 1873. He was a boarding school owner and spent much of his time calculating in the morning, double checking his answers in the evening, and after 20 years of work he calculated the 707 digits of pi. But in 1944 it was discovered he made a mistake in the 525th digit, and that meant all of his later efforts were wasted. But pi chasers have taken the quest to fantastic levels of accuracy, using homebrew supercomputers. They've gone on to calculate 9 billion digits of pi, and pi-obsessed chasers just love to calculate something that is infinite. And the latest calculation by Swiss researchers is a staggering 62.8 trillion digits. And it dwarfs the previous records in 2020 of 50 trillion digits. And it took 108 days and 9 hours to compute. And it was linguist Noam Chomsky, who had studied at Harvard, had mentioned in Cambridge there was a remarkable influence of technology that came along with World War II. Computers, electronics, acoustics, mathematical theories of communication, cybernetics, and all the technological approaches to human behavior. They enjoyed an extraordinary vogue, and the human sciences were being reconstructed on the basis of these concepts. Noam Chomsky, a student at Harvard in the early 1950s, it all had a great effect on him, but he deemed the technology a little dangerous, as it was aligned with forces of the time that weren't quite the allies of the Western world. And as soon as these technologies and promises were analysed carefully, they unravelled. And AI, artificial intelligence, came a little later. It came out of cybernetics. And the gentleman interviewing Noam Chomsky in the book on language asked, with artificial intelligence, the most advanced technology is developed to obtain the most limited results, well below the capacity of the most stupid creature. The gnome responds, I'm afraid much of the work in this field relies on ideas that are too elementary and superficial to shed light on the question of human intelligence. This not need to be the case, and perhaps someday it will not be. But it's been true so far, by large, and the field has suffered from quite irresponsible claim. And it reminds me of the recent Elevate podcast with General Stanley McChrystal, a retired 4-star general, the former commander of the Joint Special Operations Command, America's premier military counter-terrorism force, describes his time at the United States Military Academy, West Point. At first, he didn't take the place very seriously as a meathead, but they took themselves really seriously at West Point. He was in trouble all the time. He sat down for his first one-on-one counselling session with Major Barato, and he says, I think you're going to be a great cadet, an army officer. And General McChrystal remembers trying to stand up to see if he had the wrong file. He said, you got to remember who you're talking with. And Major Barato replied, no, the stuff you've done doesn't equate to being a bad soldier. It equates to you being a meathead at this point in your life. And we're going to work through that. And to quote General McChrystal, and in an instant, he changed my view of myself, and he also convinced me that here is somebody that just said, I believe in you. And as a result, his last 2 years at West Point were much less painful and much more successful. And it's so easy for people to make throwaway comments out of care at just the wrong point in time. Like watch a movie to take your mind off things, read a good book or something. But there was once a time we couldn't talk, read, write, spell. Now I don't know if it was joy you experienced the first time you could say ta, yes, or love to make really loud noises, squeals. But what I do know is it's a process. And to quote Einstein, the world as we have created, it is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. And depending on where you are in your journey, you can learn about depression because people educated about depression overcome it. No, depression can be a normal reaction to life stresses. And sometimes depression can mean an underlying medical condition. So getting a medical exam is a great idea, and there is no cure for feelings. Your mood has to be managed with insight, foresight, and forever. Depression reoccurs because life reoccurs. You and I and the entire human species know to eat better, exercise regularly, get some good sleep. Maybe you are or aren't aware. Mood can affect your memory, how you recall personal history, how you judge and perceive others. But you have more personal resources than you might realize, because there once was a time you didn't know how to stand up for yourself. Your tired little hands would pull you up until you could stand on your tired little feet. But then your ankles would give way, your knees would give way, your hips would give way, and you'd fall back down. Your tired little hands, tired feet, ankles balanced, feet balanced. But then your knees would give way, hips would give way, fall back down. Tired hands, tired little feet, balanced feet, balanced ankles, balanced knees, hips would give way and fall back down. Then your legs would get crossed and that wouldn't work. Tired hands, feet balanced, ankles balanced, knees balanced, hips balanced. What a remarkable feat to stand on one leg, one foot in front of the other. Maybe you forgot you knew how to stand up for yourself. And isn't it wonderful to know in the future you got to the end of the process? And as a wise man once said, fall in love with the process and the results will come. Caring for yourself, self-care. When you're ready to reorient yourself back to your external world, you can stretch out, wriggle your fingers and toes, and open your eyes. Welcome back. You're perfect, just as you are.